Oh dear. Oh dear. That's all I can say at this point. Oh dear. Look, guys, I think most Arsenal fans would agree we weren't expecting to win this game, but maybe we could have pulled something off, something special. We've been in such good form since the third or the first three games, international break, and then we've gone unbeaten. But yeah, Anfield is not an easy place to go, and we have been massively shown up today. Look, we've conceded 3 goals in the second half so far. You can see on screen right now, the game hasn't finished. There is 5 minutes to go here. The first half wasn't that bad. We didn't really create anything, but we kept Liverpool somewhat quiet. Ramsdale had to make a few saves, and he's had to be on top of his game. And even then, we've still conceded 4 so far. But we were okay. It's like, we're at Anfield, we're Arsenal, we're not quite at this level. But we go in at the break 1-0 down, there's still potential there. You never know, right? You never know. It's football. But then the second half comes along and we are absolutely blown away. They're on another level. And that's why I'm not too disappointed that we've lost the game. I'm more disappointed that we've let it slip completely in this second half. I was expecting a lot more, I don't know. This reminds me of Arsenal 4 or 5 seasons ago, where every time we went up against one of the top teams, we would capitulate 4, 5, 6-0, whatever it may be. I feel like over the last few seasons, we've definitely got better at these games, especially when Emery was here. I think I noticed a big improvement, and Arteta's definitely carried that through. Think back to his first season in the FA Cup run, for example, beating Chelsea, City, whoever, and we were looking better against the better teams. But today has taken me right back. And maybe it is a one-off. I don't actually think this is going to have a huge effect on our season, because we're almost expected to go to Anfield and lose, which kind of sucks. You know, I'm an Arsenal fan, and I want to be able to say, oh, it's Liverpool at Anfield, we'll give it a go, and we can get a result there. But being realistic, we're not there yet. We're not there yet at all. I've got the stats of the game here. Should we have a little look here at the? Hang on, let me go into the lineup. We can see some of the match ratings. If you're wondering what app this is, it is FOTMob. Hey, FOTMob, sponsor me again. It's been a while. I miss you guys. I love this app. I mean, if you look at the Liverpool side, the only player that hasn't got a 7 rating or more is Matip, and he's barely had anything to do, to be honest. I think we've had 1, maybe 2 attempts on target. I think Aubameyang had a relatively decent chance in the second half, but Alisson made such an easy save. We haven't created anything, honestly. And if it wasn't for Ramsdale, this would be 6, 7, maybe even 8-0. He's made some incredible saves. And then we look at the Arsenal ratings. I'm surprised we've got anyone in green, to be honest. And do you know, it's a weird feeling, this, because it has actually been a while since I was really critical of this team. I mean, we're going back to Chelsea, City, Brentford. Since then, we've had a couple of draws here and there, but mostly W's. We've been winning games, some convincing, some not so convincingly, but we've been winning games. And then we go to Anfield, and, you know, I wasn't expecting anything today. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I'm a realist. I knew going into this game, with Liverpool losing against West Ham, they were always going to be up for it. And they have been incredible. I mean, Salah, Mane, Jota, they've just been incredible. Even Oxlade-Chamberlain, I thought, was really good today against his old team, of course. Thiago, some would say he's been a little bit of a flop since joining Liverpool, but he was great today. He keeps the ball so well. For me, though, it's Fabinho. There's no one better in the Premier League at what Fabinho does. Maybe you could look at Declan Rice at the moment as a defensive midfielder option that's up there, and maybe Ndidi on a good day. Wasn't so good today against Chelsea, but yeah, Fabinho for me he's the player that gets everything going, and he's superb. But then, of course, when you've got the attacking options they've got, Salah down the right with Trent behind him, it's scary at times. We just have not been able to cope. Okay, let's talk about some of the Arsenal performances, because there's a few names I want to pick out. having poor performances. I think it's clear to see that Ramsdale's struggled today because of the scoreline, but actually he's been one of our better players. You would see it's 4-0 and go, oh, Ramsdale clearly didn't have a good game, but actually he did. He's probably been one of our better players. A 5.6 rating seems a bit harsh to me. Tomiyasu has been poor today. He doesn't offer us much going forward when we're up against it like this. He's a defensive player, but I would argue that at least the last goal, the fourth goal for Liverpool, Tomiyasu was definitely out of position. Ben White and Gabriel, honestly, there's not much they've been able to do for the goals. I don't think. Maybe the header in the first half, Gabriel was slightly at fault. He was out of position a little bit. But realistically, I'd say the goals have been from wide areas and mistakes. Tavares is the player I want to talk about. He made a huge error for the Liverpool's second goal. He's quite literally passed it to Liverpool in our own box or just on the edge of the box, which of course they've then scored because they're a clinical side. Tavares has had a really tough game, but I don't want to be too harsh on Tavares. The guy has come into the club and he's done a really good job when he has played. And tonight he's up against not just one of the best teams in the world, but quite literally the best winger in the world. Right now, there is no better player in the world than Salah, and he's up against him. And do you know what? Up until the second half, Salah really didn't offer too much. He was still getting involved, but yeah, could have been doing more against another team. So I think Tavares, whilst he has been poor tonight, I think it's one of those days you just have to say he's been beaten by the better team and he's made a few mistakes. It is what it is. I'm sure Tierney will be in the team next time. I'm pretty sure Tierney will start the next game, but we'll see. I don't dislike Tavares because of this game. He's still a young player, and he has been good for us. Saka, I think, has done all right for us out on the right side. Every time he's got the ball, he's looked a bit dangerous and tried, but most of the time, he's been chasing the ball. Partey and, well, it was Sambi, but now it's Maitland-Niles. They've all struggled. I think what we're seeing here is it's not just the quality of the football from Liverpool, but it's the way the team set up and the way they harass you. They smother you. You can't breathe against this Liverpool team. And one thing that we do well when we are winning games is we can control the game, the tempo midfield. We have space to breathe. So when we come up against a team like Liverpool that are down your throat as soon as you get the ball, it's a pain. It really is. We can't do anything. Salah's been given man of the match, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I'd make a case for Jota as well, and Fabinho maybe. Sambi Lokonga. A little bit tricky this, because I think a lot of people will compare him to potentially having Guendouzi there instead. We need to move on from this comparison. Guendouzi is, I think he's going to be gone. He's going to be going to Marseille permanently. What Sambi does offer us is hope for the future, that we've got a young leader that definitely has ability. But what we're seeing at the moment is that, personally, and this is obviously just my opinion, you might disagree, he's not ready to step up at this level, to play against a Liverpool side at Anfield in this form, and to be Partey's main partner in crime, or in defence, I should say. It's just, nah. I don't think Sambi's quite there yet. And that's when I start to feel like we miss Granit Xhaka. In a game like this, but to be fair, would he have made a difference? That's full time, by the way. Game over. 4-0 is the end result. I want to see the manager shake hands, because they had a little bust up during the game. I'm hoping that is just, I mean, it is. It's just passion. They both disagreed on a foul made by Mane, I think it was. They had a bit of a clash. But anyway, Sambi, I think, give him the game time he needs against other opposition where maybe we can control things, but this was a tough one for him. And Partey really struggled in midfield because we just, like I said, we couldn't breathe. Smith Rowe hadn't really got anything in today's game, not even a sniff. He had a nice little flick through to Aubameyang, who was offside. We squared it to Lacazette and scored, but miles offside. Talking of Lacazette and Aubameyang, yeah, this wasn't a good game for them. Oh my God, Ramsdale does not look happy. A reminder that Ramsdale has been unbeaten since he's came into the team, barely conceded any goals, and tonight he's let in 4. It's tough. It really is. El Neni and Salah swapping shirts. I know who my favourite Egyptian is. The true Egyptian king in the Premier League is, of course, El Neni. Yeah, there's not much else to say, guys. If you're looking for more in-depth analysis of this match, you ain't going to get it here because, quite honestly, I don't really want to think about this match anymore. It's a trip to Anfield to forget, one of many recently. Of course, around the Premier League, we've had some pretty big results. Watford have beaten United 4-1. Right now, they're having a crisis meeting. Ole's gone, no doubt about it. Norwich got another win. Chelsea beat Leicester 3-0. Newcastle, Brentford 3-all. Aston Villa with Gerrard winning 2-0. Brighton have been good this season as well, so that wasn't an easy win for Aston Villa. Yeah, it's a tough one to take, but it is what it is, isn't it? Unfortunately, guys, what we're seeing with Arsenal is a huge improvement since those first 3 games, but we're still levels away from Liverpool, Chelsea, City. You could argue that 4th place is up for grabs. I think it's definitely there if we get back onto the run we were just on, and we'll see what happens because we do have some tough games coming up, including a game against United in just a week or two, and they're going to have a new manager, whoever that's going to be, Zidane, Brendan Rodgers is linked. They're going to be galvanised. That is going to be a really tough fixture. I wish Ole would stay for that one. But yeah, today is definitely one to forget. I appreciate you watching these videos, guys. I love to vent about the game. But when you lose 4-0 at Anfield, you kind of just want to pretend it never happened. Fair play to Liverpool. Arsenal will stay in 5th place with 20 points. 5th place isn't awful considering the terrible start we had. Liverpool goes 2nd, 4 points below Chelsea, who lead the way.